up, everybody? We're back for episode 2 of Downton Abbey. This is my reaction. During episode 1, they were just setting the foundation. You got introduced to the Crawleys, John Bates, O'Brien, Thomas, O'Brien. That is Lady Crawley's handmaid. And a few other characters. I still think there's a few more they didn't include in this episode that I think will be introduced in episode 2. Basically, episode 1 was about Robert Crawley losing his heirs on the Titanic, and Mary, losing her fiance, and them going through the process of trying to find a new heir, because I think it has something to do with Mary's mother, Lady Crawley, inheritance. But yeah, that's just my brief synopsis of what happened. Yeah, everything so far, you get to see the rivalry between Edith and Mary, which is interesting and a bit hilarious. You see the rivalry between John Bates and Thomas, and O'Brien, because O'Brien's doesn't quite like Bates. It seems like it more than seems like she freaking trips the man, but yeah, and they just laying the foundation of what's going on in the series. But that's enough talk. Let's get into the reaction to episode 2. His name's Matthew, by the way. I know I called him Edward last episode. I was just getting confused. But that's Matthew.
Here we are, ma'am. Crawley House.
The good or ill. I still don't see why I couldn't just refuse it.
There's no mechanism for you to do so. You will be an earl. You will inherit the estate. Of course, you can throw it away when you have it. That's up to you.
Can I help?
I'm Mosley, sir, your butler and valet.
Mr. Mosley, I'm
May
afraid...
I introduce ourselves? I am Mrs. Crawley, and this is my son, Mr. Matthew Crawley.
I'll just give Mr. Taylor a hand with the cases.
I can...
Thank you, Mosley.
I won't let them change me.
Why would they want to?
Mother, Lord Grantham has made the unwelcome discovery that his heir is a middle-class lawyer and the son of a middle-class doctor.
Upper middle
He
class.
wants to limit the damage by turning me into one of his own kind.
Well, you met him in London. You liked him.
So I think he's a lawyer, and his father was a doctor. I don't know why.
Would you like this in here, ma'am, or take it up to your room?
Things. I would think it would be really hard to be a doctor, especially during those times.
There's a local girl, ma'am, Beth.
I don't know why being a banker would be such like a high
Thank you very
prestigious
much,
job,
Mosley.
or I don't know what they
Might
do.
we have some tea?
Very good, ma'am.
Like being a politician is seen as more important than
We can
being
go
a
right
doctor.
now,
Why?
because we do not need a butler or a valet if it comes to that. We've always managed perfectly well with a cook and a maid, and they cannot expect us
What
to
they
alter
expect,
our...
Matthew, is that we won't know how to behave. So if you don't mind, I would rather not confirm their expectations.
I have to be myself, Mother. I'll be no use to anyone if I can't be myself. And before they or you get any ideas, I will choose my own wife.
What on earth do you mean?
Well, they're clearly going to push one of the daughters at me. They'll have fixed on that when they heard I was a bachelor.
Yeah.
Lady Mary Crawley.
I do hope I'm not interrupting.
Lady Mary.
Cousin Mary, please. Mamma has sent me down to welcome you and to ask you to dine with us tonight. Unless you're too tired.
He in love
We
already.
would be delighted.
Good. Come at 8.
Won't you stay and have some tea?
Oh no, you're far too busy. And I wouldn't want to push in.
Oh, she got him. So you don't talk to young people back like that, yo.
South Lodge.
Very good, my lady.
Lady Mary, I hope you didn't misunderstand me. I was only joking.
Of course. And I agree. The whole thing is a complete joke.
Wow, yo.
Wieker's like a doctor's son from Manchester. He'll be lucky if he gets a civil word
I
out
don't
of
get
me.
it, man. Why
If
is
he
doc?
gets a civil
Why is
word
being a
out of
doctor
you.
seen as a bad thing back then? I don't understand it, yo.
Thank you,
But
Mr. Carson.
I don't know. We live in different times, I
Have you
suppose.
seen him yet, Mr. Carr?
Daisy, did you hear me call, or have you gone selectively deaf?
No, Mrs. Patmore.
Then might
I
I
love
remind you that
Daisy.
we are preparing dinner for your future employer, and if it goes wrong, I'll be telling them why.
Hello again. It's a pleasure to meet you at last, Mrs. Crawley.
We're delighted to be here.
Y'all all
Hungry
Crawleys,
nephew.
though. What the hell?
Delighted.
Mrs. Crawley. Yep.
Why shouldn't he be a lawyer?
Gentlemen don't work silly. Not really.
Oh, he's a lawyer.
Don't listen to her, Daisy.
No, listen
Okay.
to me. And take those kidneys up to the servery before I knock you down and serve your brains as fritters.
Yes, Mrs. Patmore. Wonder what that Mr. Mosley makes of them.
Poor old Mosley. A pity the man who's taken that job.
Then why did you apply for it?
Oh.
I thought it might help me to get away from you, Mr. Bates.
This was at the back door.
Thank you, William.
Huh. Okay, so Mr. Carson just got a letter and he's up to something. I'm not. Well, you can obviously see. I'm just trying to
I'm afraid it's a case of the war
I
horse
don't know.
and the drown.
add commentary.
You know my late husband was a doctor.
Himself. He puts them out at night and hangs the ones he's worn. I get to take the linen down to the laundry, but that's about all.
That's all.
Well, I'll do this. He says, I'll take the other, I'll tie that. I'm just stood there like a chump, watching a man get dressed. To be honest, Mr. Bates, I don't see the point of it.
I thought you didn't like him.
See what?
My man questioning why they need all this
marry one of them.
help just to get dressed.
You always have to pretend to be nicer than the rest of us.
That's actually a good point. You know, this whole series could be summed up with what he just said. Why do they need all this help for the small things in their lives too? And they see things like running the house to be like more important than being a lawyer or a doctor. But that is just my brief opinion about the matter, you know, just my little small opinion, you know. The series has deeper meanings, and I'm pretty sure there's books too. I just watched the show, so.
I thought no one was here.
Can I help, Mr. Carson?
No. No, thank you, Anna.
Was he like stealing food out of the pantry? I haven't watched this in a long time, so I don't know what he's up to right now.
I must compliment you, Mrs. Crawley. When you made your offer, I thought you might be a great
God
lady.
damn,
Faith
what
to
is
fight
that?
Blood.
God.
I see you're made of sterner stuff.
See his legs?
It's almost
Jesus.
too hard to hear at all.
I'm afraid so.
I've been thinking about.
We would be setting an impossible precedent when every villager could demand the latest fad in treatment for each new cut and graze.
I would remind you that we're not talking of a cut or a graze, but the loss of a man's life and the ruin of his family.
Of course. But I beg you to see that it is not reasonable.
I'm sorry, but I have
I get that.
Just saying something ever so often.
But if she's done it before, you know, why not try it if he's gonna die anyway?
Nobody from nowhere. Oh, Brad. Were you discussing Mr. Crawley? Yes, my lady. Is it your place to do so?
I've got my opinions, my lady, same as anybody.
Can I help your ladyship?
This is the button we're missing from my new evening coat. I found it lying on the gravel. But I was shocked at the talk I heard as I came in. Mr. Crawley is his lordship's cousin and heir. You will, therefore, please, accord him the respect he's entitled to.
But you don't like him yourself, my lady. You never wanted him to go
You're
here.
sailing perilously close to the window, Brian. If we're to be friends, you will not speak in that way again about the Crawleys or any member of Lord Grantham's family. Now I'm going up to rest. Wake me at the dressing gong.
Oh, she's in trouble. I mean, that...
I don't think that's fair, not here in the servants' hall.
I agree. If she was a real lady, she wouldn't have come down here. She'd have rung for me and given me the button, that's all.
Oh, wow, she's still talking too.
Who says?
The law and Parliament. There is such a thing as free speech.
Not when I'm in charge. Don't push your luck, Thomas. Now, tea's over. Back to work. You'd better take this.
Friends.
Honestly, she was pushing her luck by saying that
We're
too.
not friends.
No?
No. And you're not friends with the girls neither. We're servants, you and me. And they pay us to do as we're told, that's all.
May I?
And if I've offended you, I apologise. Surely you have better things to do.
This is my job, sir.
Well, it seems a very silly occupation for a grown man. Look, I'm sorry if
That would hurt my feelings too.
I'm sorry.
Because you can clearly see he wouldn't choose that job. You can see that hurt him.
so against him.
Aside from sitting at a dirty little desk in Ripon. Besides, his father was a doctor.
There's nothing wrong with doctors. We all need doctors.
We all need crossing sweepers and draymen too.
I think that's a letter to Mary.
Whom don't we have
She's
to dine
probably
with?
about to hide it.
Mary doesn't care for cousin Matthew. Sybil, be a dear and fetch my black evening shawl. It forms a part of the estate.
Even so, when a judge hears...
For once in your life, will you please just listen? I believe there's an answer which would secure your future and give you a position.
You can't be serious.
Just think about it.
I don't have to think about it. Marry a man who can barely hold his knife like a gentleman? Oh, you exaggerate. You're American. You don't understand these things. Have you mentioned this to Granny? Did she laugh?
Why would she? It was her idea.
Have you been able to explore the village?
I have.
By the way, if ever you want to ride, just let Lynch know and he'll sort it out for you.
Oh, Papa, cousin Matthew doesn't ride.
I ride.
And do you hunt?
No, I don't hunt.
I dare say there's not much opportunity in Manchester.
Are you a hunting family?
Families like ours are always hunting families.
Not always. Billy Skelton won't have them on his land.
But all the Skeltons are mad.
Do you hunt?
Occasionally. I suppose you're more interested in books than country sports.
I probably am. You'll tell me that's rather unhealthy.
Not unhealthy. Just unusual. Among our kind of people.
Wow.